Sauron was a dark god cloaked in fear, an immortal Maya spirit twisted into tyranny. But even the darkest powers can bleed. In rare moments across the ages, heroes stepped forward to face him alone. This is the story of those who dared to challenge Sauron, and sometimes even win. In the First Age, Finrod Felagund, brother to Galadriel, encountered Sauron in a duel unlike any other. One fought not with swords, but with songs. While trying to aid Beren, Finrod was captured by Sauron and forced into a magical battle of music, each verse drawing on the deep power of creation. Though Sauron eventually overwhelmed him, Finrod sacrificed himself to save Beren from a werewolf, dying as a king, not a prisoner. His song may have ended, but it left an echo that shaped Middle-earth's fate. From melody to defiance, Sauron would face a warrior unlike any other next. Lúthien Tinúviel, daughter of Thingol and a Maya mother, was no ordinary princess. When Sauron took Beren, she infiltrated his stronghold with her wolfhound, Huan. Through enchantment and courage, she brought Sauron to his knees, literally. As Huan battled Sauron in wolf form, Lúthien's power shattered his will. Forced to flee, Sauron lost both fortress and pride. Magic, music, and loyalty had done what armies could not. But even victory can cost blood, and one elf would pay dearly. In the Second Age, Sauron disguised himself as Annatar, the Lord of Gifts, and tricked the elven smiths into forging the Rings of Power. But Celebrimbor, grandson of Feanor, eventually uncovered the deception and stood against him alone. Captured and tortured, he refused to reveal the location of the 3 elven rings. Sauron killed him and used his body as a twisted banner. Yet, Celebrimbor's resistance preserved hope and power outside the Dark Lord's reach. But Sauron's hunger only grew, and new foes would rise to stop him. At the end of the Second Age, the last alliance of elves and men stormed Mordor. At its peak, Elendil, king of the Dunedain, and Gil-galad, High King of the Elves, faced Sauron in single combat atop Mount Doom. Both fell, but they weakened Sauron enough for Isildur to sever the One Ring. This victory ended the Second Age, but at a terrible cost. Yet before this battle of kings, there was one who had already defeated Sauron in spirit. Long before the rings or Mount Doom, Sauron served Melkor, his master. When the Valar finally intervened in the War of Wrath, they sent Eönwë, the mightiest warrior of the Maiar and the Herald of Manwë, to lead the forces of the West. After Melkor's fall, Sauron submitted to Eönwë, acknowledging defeat. But fearing judgment in Valinor, he fled east and began his rise anew. This was Sauron's first great fall, from a servant of order to a self-made tyrant. But not all his defeats came from gods. Some came from men. In the Second Age, the seafaring kingdom of Numenor became Sauron's greatest earthly threat. Twice, they crushed him. First, under King Tar-Minastir, they drove him back from the lands of the elves. Then again, under Ar-Pharazôn, they landed with such overwhelming force that Sauron simply surrendered. It was not magic or prophecy, but steel, discipline, and unity. Though he later corrupted Numenor from within, in direct battle, Sauron was utterly humiliated by mortal men. Victory over darkness often demands more than strength, it demands wisdom. Though not often celebrated as a warrior, Isildur dealt Sauron the most decisive blow in the Second Age. After Elendil and Gil-galad fell in battle, it was Isildur who seized the broken hilt of Narsil and cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand, shattering his physical form. Yet, the victory came with a curse. Isildur refused to destroy the ring, claiming it for himself. His triumph turned hollow, and the shadow endured. His moment teaches us that the hardest battles come after the war. From the divine to the defiant, Sauron's might be never absolute. Sauron was not invincible. He was challenged, resisted, and defeated. Sometimes by kings, sometimes by hounds, sometimes by songs. His story is one of terror, yes, but also of hope. These heroes prove that even the darkest shadows can be pierced. Their legacy endures, not just in legend, but in our choices when facing our darkness. Please like, share, and subscribe for more forgotten lore of Middle-earth.